So we have installed our Simple Machines forum onto our webpage, and in this video tutorial we'll go ahead and we'll actually see how we can actually add some categories and some discussion boards as well. So I've logged back into my forum, and you can see that I've logged back as the admin, and when you're logged in as the admin, you're the only person who can actually see all these and apply a few options and settings and stuff like that. Alright, so in this tutorial we'll see how to add more categories. This is a category. By default there's only one general category which has only one discussion board, which is called the general discussion here. Just below that there's some information about the forum, some forum stats, the latest posts, users online, and a few other options and information as well. Alright, so we'll be adding some new categories and some new boards, but before we do that, what I like to do is to actually put my webpage or put my forum into a maintenance mode. Alright, so to do that, what we need to do is we have to find the admin menu, and we'll click on the features and options. Alright, once we are there, we'll actually go to the configuration and scroll to the server settings. Okay, so this is the general information, and just take a note that when you actually hover over any menu here, you'll get options like general, database, cookies, and whatnot, and that's actually the same as it is here. So you can either go from here straight to one of these options, or you can just come to the general and then select whichever option you want. Alright, so we're gonna put our forum into a maintenance mode, and to do so we have to click here, and you can put any sort of text here that you would like to display to your users. I'll just leave it as it is. This is the webmaster's email address. I'll leave it as it is. And for those options here, well, actually I'll leave them as they are. If you ever get lost and don't know what to do or what some option means, you can just click here on the little button and they will actually display some option. Alright, so just remember before you actually go into any other settings that you actually hit on save. Alright, so with the database and patches, this is something that we have entered before when we were actually installing the Simple Machines forum. So do not change anything here unless you want to change your database and paths. For the cookies, I will leave everything as it is. So all of these options come already preset, so you don't have to work around them unless you want something really special out of the Simple Machines forum. But for normal usage, I would just recommend that you leave everything as it is. For caching, make sure that you are on level 1, and for load balancing I will just leave it as it is. Once again, I'll just hit on save, and let's have a look what this actually did. So we actually put our Simple Machines forum community into a maintenance mode, and now when a user actually comes to the web page, let's just refresh it. This is what they will see. So they can see that our page is in maintenance mode, and basically only the administrators can log in. Alright, so let's go back and get the page back to the normal mode. I'll unselect this, uncheck this checkbox and hit on save, and let's go and refresh. And this is what the user will see once they actually typed in your web page address. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is actually add some more categories and add some more discussion boards. Alright, to do that we'll go to forum and we'll find boards. We'll click on boards, and here you can actually see all the boards that you currently have within your community, and of course your categories. We have only one category which is called general category, and we have one discussion board which is called general discussion under that category. Alright, so first of all I will go and I will actually modify my category, and I will actually call my first category just information, and I'll hit on modify, and once again we'll go back and we'll just refresh it, and we can see that information, the actual name of the category has changed to information. Alright, let's go back, and now we'll actually go, this is the forum board, so it's called general discussion. I'll actually go and modify that as well, and what I'll put here is just general information. Okay, you can add some description here as well. Now for the permission profile, you can choose many different ones. I would strongly suggest you leave it as a default, and here you can actually see the allowed groups. So basically this is all the options that you can set to actually disable or enable some of the member groups to actually, you know, post and actually view the topics and whatnot. So what I will do, I will select everything and I'll leave everything as it is. Now for the moderators, you can add a couple of moderators. So this is the people that will actually be moderating your this particular board, forum board. So I'll just add myself in it, and if you had more users you can add them as well. We'll leave count posts as checked, and board theme, this is something that we're going to talk about a bit later, but we'll leave it as default. Now I'll hit on modify, and you can also delete the whole board just from here. I'll click on modify, and once again let's go back and see the changes. Alright, so we have changed the name of our forum board to general information, which is in a category called information. Alright, let's go back, and now what I will do is actually I'll go ahead and I'll add a new category. Now there's an option here that you can place your category in the first place or after the information. Alright, this information is the actual name of the category that you currently have on your Simple Machines forum. So that's this bit here. So what is it asking us? Do you want the new category to be above or below this information category? Of course, if you had many more categories, it would ask you where would you like to put it, before or after. So what I'll do is I'll put it just after, and I'm gonna call my category video tutorials, and I'll add a category. Okay, now we can see we have two categories. We have the information and the video tutorial. Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll just add a board here, and this is exactly the same as before. Alright, first of all you choose your category. We'll choose the video tutorial. Now the name, we're going to call our first board maybe video tutorial 1. We can add some description here. Permission as default, we'll check all, and I'll make sure that I'm the actually the moderator here. And for everything else we'll leave it as it is. You can actually enable this as well, but I would disable it, as this will actually redirect anyone who clicks on this board to another web address. Now sometimes you might actually want to use this if you have some other board somewhere else, and when a user clicks on it, it will actually take them to that place. But I'll leave it unchecked, and I'll leave the count posts as checked. The board theme, we'll leave it as it is. Okay, we'll go and hit on add board. Alright, so we have video tutorial 1. Alright, let's go back here and see the changes. Okay, so we have two different categories. We have the information, which we actually just changed from the default one, and now we have a new category called video tutorial, and we have a board called video tutorial 1. Also, you can see that there is absolutely no posts and no topics here as well. Alright, so what I would like to do next is actually go into permissions. So to do that, to set permissions for each particular board and groups and everything else. So to do that, we'll go to the members and we'll just go down to permissions. Alright, this is all the groups that you currently have on your Simple Machines forum, and this come actually as default. Once again, if you're unsure what each one of these means, you can just click on the question mark and it will give you some information about that particular group. Okay, so this is all the information, general permissions. You can actually go to board permissions, where you can find permissions for each different board. If you, for example, want to set different permissions for the general information board and video tutorial boards, so you will have different permissions for those two. And you can go into the edit profiles as well and settings. Alright, so let's go back to general permissions and let's go ahead and have a look at the permissions that, for example, a guest has. So we'll click on modify, and basically here you'll find all the available options that you can actually select or deselect. All of these are pretty much straightforward, and once again, if you're unsure what each one of these means, you can just click on a little button here and it will actually give you some more information. So I'm not going to go over all of this because there's quite a lot of them, but basically this is where you would set the permissions for each particular group of users. Okay, once you're done with that, you would hit on save changes and this will actually update the permissions. Okay, so let's go ahead now and create some new groups here. So for example, if you wanted to have some different groups and of users, so you will go to the members and you will go to the member groups. Okay, so we have three different groups here. We have the administrator, global moderator, and moderator. This is by default. Okay, and then we have all of these ranks here as well. So you can see that a hero member has actually 5 stars here. And basically, for a person to become a hero member, they have to have 500 posts within the forum. But let's go to the regular groups first of all, and let's go ahead and we'll add a new group. Okay, it's quite straightforward. So what we need to do is enter a name for a member group. So let's call this junior member. Of course, you can put any sort of name here. Alright, so in here we'll actually go and select based off of global moderator. Now you can either select either 3 of these options, and we'll actually click on check all. So this is actually applying these settings. We are applying junior member group to all 2 boards that we currently have in our forum. Of course, you can select one of them or none of them, but I would like junior members to be available everywhere, so therefore I'll actually select check all. Alright, I'll click on add group, and here you can actually enter some information about this particular group. Like so. The type of the group, click on protected, so only administrators can manage and assign this group. If you want to allow other people, other member groups to actually select this and change, you can actually select that. Now for the moderators, I like to put myself as a moderator everywhere, so I have full access. Now visibility, we'll leave it as visible. We'll leave these permissions as no. Now the color, you can change the color here, and we'll see how to do that just in a moment. Now this is number of stars, so just on the previous page you saw all these little boxes, those are actually stars. And well, basically because this is a junior member, we'll just give junior members 1 star, and maximum personal messages we'll leave it as unlimited, which is 0. So if we go show boards, we'll actually check all. So once again, we are making sure that junior member group is available on all boards, and we'll just hit on save. Alright, so we have just created a new group which is called junior member, and junior member has only 1 star. And actually I said we'll see how to change the color. So if we go to modify, what we need to do is actually find the color picker, so you can find that as colorpicker.com. Okay, so just select any color you are after. So for example, let's select some color, some yellowish color, maybe something like this. Copy this and just paste it in here like so, and hit on save. And now you can see that the junior member has actually changed its color. We have seen how to actually modify already existing categories, like what we did with the information category, and we have seen how to actually modify the board settings. So we changed the general board, I think it was, into general information, and we have also seen how to create new categories and new boards within that category. Also, we have seen how to add permissions, so we can have many different categories, and we have actually seen how to add categories as well, and therefore we are ready to start receiving some members and to actually run our online community.